Panharmonicon presents a podcast.
Whatever you might see or hear, I ask you all to remain calm. It's vital that Lily's focus remains with me. Let us begin. Lily to me.
One, two, three, four. Late night with... No, that's not
The
it.
devil. Oh.
Late night with the devil.
Late night. Late night.
Late night
with the devil.
when you go out here.
Those some pretty good late night jingles you guys made. Yeah. Probably actually get into maybe Kimmel needs a new one.
There you go.
Oh, a two, a 1, 2, 3, 4. Late night with the devil. Take your time and time again. You going late night with the devil. Hope you don't get possessed.
That was pretty good.
Brought to you by the Bible.
Brought to you by Jesus Christ.
Can't enable goat products? Sheep products? I don't know what they be herding.
They be hurting. Welcome back, folks. I hope you like the opening jingle. Also, of course, that it gives you a sense of what we're going to be talking about today if you just blindly clicked and didn't see the title of the video. But welcome back to yet another episode of Panharmonicon Studios Presents
A podcast.
Ooh. I'm one of your hosts, Farron.
You want to go this second?
Yeah.
This time?
This is your host, Andrew.
Oh!
I am one of your hosts, Damon.
Yes.
And, well, yeah, we're going to be going over Late Night with the Devil. But before we get into that, how are we doing today, fellas?
Doing all right. Doing all right. Still been going in on Borderlands 4.
Nice.
Did my first vault yesterday with the
Ooh.
guys. Yeah. Yeah. Did not get any exotics though.
Oh, is the color system still the same? So are we looking for golds? Or...
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice.
And I did not get one from that
Boo.
vault, which was salty. Because Matt had been hyping it up, like, we're going to do this vault, and I was hyped. I was like, yeah, I'm going to get my first exotic. And we beat it. Not
Jack
one. Yeah.
Can't get anything, and me and Matt both got 2.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's funny, it's
brutal.
like, I think it was either you or Matt went to like a random
I was-
box out in the open.
Oh, yeah,
and
Matt got it in
popped
an
out.
exotic. He got it out of a box. I got one out of a vending machine.
Oof.
Do you
It
you know how
hurts.
many things I've opened and I've still not...
Our Jesus must not be with you, my friend.
They really hate me.
You must
They
repent
really
for your
do.
sins.
Dios mío. Yeah, so I've not yet gotten an exotic, but still, it's been fun. It's been fun gaming with the bros. It's been fun. Man.
I don't know. Borderlands just captures I hope it's more people available, but like even 4, just like a nice party of 4, like it's just something about it. Like it's
Yeah.
just it's the nostalgia. I don't know what it is of just like, being able to game with the homies. It's something special.
So the age differences, right? Like, so I'm 2 years younger than Dame. You are, I believe, 7 years younger than me.
Yes, so I was gonna say 9 from.
From that. So how old were you then when the first Borderlands game came out?
Oh, I don't know when it came out, but I think I was still swimming when I was playing it, so I think I was maybe like 12,
Dang.
11. We can do a quick
Yeah,
search.
Google search.
That's
Dame's got quicker fingers, I think.
yeah.
Hey Siri,
But not a quicker
when did the
phone.
first Borderlands game come out? Oh, that's creepy.
2009.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, 13 then, right? Is it 13
Wow.
that age?
Yeah, so I guess maybe I don't even know my own ages anymore. But I don't think I played it right away. Because the one that I remember like being like playing it at release was 2. Because that was a good time. A little bit longer.
I think people are more fond of 2 than they are of the first one.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely a more polished game, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You get to do a lot more. Plus the Gunzerker is just, I don't know, something about it. Best class. But I haven't played 4, so maybe they topped it. I don't know.
Time to get in. What about you, though?
Been good. I beat Hollow Knight. I did not 100% it, but I beat the Hollow Knight. So I guess spoilers for Hollow Knight.
Oh, that Hollow Knight refers to the last boss of the game?
Like a person. You are not the Hollow Knight, which is what I was. But I really wasn't reading the lore because it's almost like biblical and like scripture, like in the way it's written. So it was just a lot of like, I don't understand any of this. I'm just gonna go kill this guy. It was like the Hollow Knight, and I was like, oh, they said the thing.
Oh yeah.
So
like
yes, yeah. But I got 73% of the way through the game when I completed.
Off of a first playthrough, that's not bad.
And I only looked up one thing, so that was my other little claim to fame. Because when I don't know if I've talked about this, but the banker stole all my money, and I was like, lady, I need to upgrade my sword. I'm gonna come get my money back. So.
So you have to pay. Well, I guess it's like any other game, like pay to upgrade your weaponry. Okay.
Yeah, pay for your stuff. So it's not free, unfortunately.
Oh, that'd be nice.
But, yeah, it would
be nice.
But. And you, sir?
Crafting. I've been good.
Nice.
I've been playing Borderlands. I've been playing a lot of games actually. I've been playing some NBA 2K. Started on the PS5 version of Stardew Valley.
Nice.
I've been playing Power World. I've been playing a lot of games.
That's a smorgasbord.
Yeah,
that's a lot. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And then any new Pokemon ROMs and/or?
I just finished this one called Pokemon Vanguard. It's not technically finished. It's like the game is like maybe like 3/4 done.
Okay.
But it's like he releases updates to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very annoying game,
but
I think I play it out of spite because I don't want him to win.
Yeah. Yeah.
So his whole system, I don't know what it is about a lot of Pokemon fan games, but they want their game to actually be hard on the actual Pokemon battle side. Because I know, like, you don't play that much Pokemon, but like Pokemon is a generally like easy game. It's kind of just you grab different Pokemon, you level them up, and you beat trainers who do not level or do any tactics with their teams. This game was nothing but having to constantly change stats, change which Pokemon you're using, and another big issue is that it has most Pokemon from Gens 1 to 9 in it, but like maybe 75% of them are changed, so they're not.
Oh god!
So like their typing is changed and their stats are changed. So any previous knowledge you have gets thrown out the window. And he provides information for you, but whenever you're facing other trainers, I'm positive that their stats are not what you see as a stat block for a Pokemon. So I'm constantly having to invest in speed to outspeed everything because everything is like got 252 EVs and full IVs and.
Jeez.
And so like, and everything is a double battle. So I'm like
stressful.
So it took me ages to. I was doing it before we even started talking about it. Like the first time I brought it up, like
wow,
a long time ago, and I just now finished that part. So I'll wait till he does more, and then we'll see. But for now, back to I guess made by actual developer people games.
Studios,
I should say. Yeah. And if you guys have been, doing anything, we'd like to hear about it.
Yes.
And one way you can let us hear about it would be dropping a comment down below, whether you're on Spotify or whether you're on YouTube. You YouTube guys do all that stuff that they always ask you for. We would like you to like this video if you liked it. Hit the thumbs down if you didn't like it, if you didn't like me talking about Pokemon. And let me know in the comments below. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. We'd love to have you stick around, be a part of our little movie book club. And if you are subscribed, hit that notification bell. It lets you know when we drop stuff that isn't just the episode. Because we do this pretty much every Monday morning. But what about other things? you don't know what we got going. We don't know what we got going until it happens. So when that drops, that little notification bell will let you know. You'll probably get a little notification on your cell phone. I don't think they do it any other way. It's probably just your cell phone. And for my Spotify guys, if you can drop us a rating, we'd greatly appreciate it because it let us know what direction we need to take this bad boy and how you're feeling about it. And with all of the
nitty gritty,
all the little
whatever
they call it. When you get all that out the way, we get ourselves down to a little segment I like to call explaining film plots poorly.
Formalities
would be the word. I'm glad you brought that. So, so all of the formalities out of the way.
I can cut everything before this. Don't worry.
Do a little segment I like to call explaining film plots poorly, where I go to the subreddit of bad film plots and pull one, and have the guys here see if they can figure out what it is.
Yeah, I do want to ask before you get into it. Have you tried making up your own?
No, because I think I would be too detailed. I'd either be too detailed or not detailed enough.
Yeah.
As I even look through a lot of these are either like so like esoteric that you'd be like, what? And then a lot of them are movies that I'm positive you guys probably haven't seen. So I
That's
pull
the
back.
tough part.
Especially because for some reason the subreddit got a little iffy about like they don't like Marvel movies being done anymore. So people are banned off of the subreddit if they do a Marvel movie. But today's, I feel like at least one of you have seen this. I hope so. In this movie, a man learns that his wife is cheating on him, so he has her kidnapped and interrogated by secret agents. This fixes their marriage.
I know you know the movie I want to say, and I know it's intentionally
Just shoot it out. What's the guess?
True Lies.
It is True Lies.
It is True Lies?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Nice.
I like how it just cuts off like this fixes their marriage. It just glosses over all of the shit.
Yeah, that's why it's a poorly explained film plot. I chose that one because I was like, the other ones I've chosen have very much been like intentionally aimed at another movie, and then been like, nope. Turns out it's this movie. Yeah. This one I thought like, yeah, you'd probably be able to get it based off of just at least that bit of it, and at least it was one that you guys had seen. This time on like Sleepaway Camp the last time.
Yeah, that was brutal.
I would love to cover True Lies, by the way, one day. I love
Hey,
that movie.
Definitely.
Add it to the
love
list.
True Lies.
That was also why I chose it, because I do want to do True Lies. So with that formality also out of the way, now that I've learned the word that we needed to use, let's get into today's episode, which is Late Night with the Devil.
Woo! Continue on with the theme of the spooky month.
Spooky month indeed.
Yes.
I'll spare you the spooky, scary skeletons, and instead let you know about a little indie horror movie that was filmed in Australia. It released back in March of 2024, which I think, outside of any of the movies we've done where it came out like that weekend that we did it, this might be like the most recent movie that we've done.
Yeah, I would agree.
I couldn't find info on its actual budget. Maybe it's because it was an indie movie and they didn't have to really like disclose that. But I saw an interview where it said that $150,000 was used just on the visual effects alone, which I would say like definitely towards the end you can see where they put the money in for that part. Some of the other parts not so much. So guesstimates put it at about like 3.5 mil or higher for a budget. Global box office was 16.8 million.
Hey, made our money back.
10 mil domestic, 6 international. So the movie didn't actually release in a lot of theaters. Obviously, it's an independent film, which happens a lot. We've seen that happen a lot. But I honestly think even if it did, it would have been hard for it to actually gain much more than it actually did, considering that in the month that it came out, especially around the weekend that it came out, Doom 2 came out, Kung Fu Panda 4 came out, Godzilla and King Kong came out, and Ghostbusters Frozen Empire all came out.
Wow, big hitters.
Yeah. And also there was another movie that came out that really did worse than it, but it was Kimetsu no Yaiba, Demon Slayer, the Hashira training arc, which was that like movie that they put out in between, like right after or in between seasons 3 and I guess the movie. That period of time, like seasons 3 and 4. So after the Swordsmith Village arc, but before
Storming the castle, I guess.
Before they do the actual Hashira, where Tanjiro goes to train with the stone Hashira. So there was like a little like film that happened in between those two that was more like Kimetsu no Yaiba does this a lot, where like the first 3 episodes of a season they make into a movie and release before the season releases. So it was just basically episodes 1 through 3 of season 4.
Oh, okay. So just in the movie if you wanted to
theater.
get your
It's a movie version before it actually came out. Critics rating 97%.
Wow.
And audience 82%.
Oh, that's pretty.
So in my notes, I basically gonna put that this makes me think before I even watch this movie that it is an independent, like artsy darling that clicked with the audience, but not nearly as much that it clicked with the critics.
Yeah.
And I actually agree with that after watching it. I can understand why critics liked it so much, and I can also understand where it may have lost like some of the audience, which maybe that's just every movie. But before we get into like our details, what do you guys think about like this little movie before we get into the synopsis?
I thought it was good. Yeah, I didn't really know what to expect based off the like synopsis of like, you know, the little the little pleasantries before the just like when you click on the movie. But it was very good. I think they really did a good job of kind of giving both the on-air and the off-air like views of everything.
Yeah.
Which like some of it was like, okay, like how would we know this happened, I guess? Like if there wasn't like someone with a camera following them, like when you know the producer and the host were kind of like, you know, talking about ratings and things off the side or any of those little like I guess trying to keep the show going while things are falling apart. But I don't think it's a horror. It's not like any other horror movie that I've seen, I guess would be the other thing. I think it's very, very fun that it was kind of like, oh, there's this big production, stuff's going real bad. Like, how do we like keep this train going without dying, I guess. So I thought it was, I thought it was a good movie.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it as well. It was interesting because it was one of those films, like at work we have, I think I mentioned this before, we have like a horror film like Teams chat that goes, and there were a few people who had seen the movie and expressed like, you know, they were very much into it, they enjoyed it, but I hadn't checked it out until, well, we decided to go ahead and cover it, and I'm glad we did. It does touch upon some things that I think when it comes to some of the horror movies, since it's kind of a genre that we, in this podcast, have only recently sort of dipping our toe in, it definitely showcases some of the elements that we've talked about, just like the slow burn, the tension using the rubber, like how it very much like a rubber band, like it stretches a little bit and it comes back, then it stretches a little bit more and it continues to do that until the end of the movie where everything kind of finally pops, which I very much like. I don't want to give away like what I think my rating is on the movie, because the more I sat with it and thought about it after the credits rolled, I was like, but what if it just had some sort of like, what if it just did this instead?
Okay.
It is one of those movies, and again, where like how Superman, we talked about it, like I could have used like 20 more minutes in Superman. Like I wouldn't have mind sitting in the theater 20 more minutes with that movie. And this movie, I was like, I think I could have used like another like 10-15 minutes. But I definitely did enjoy it.
Nice.
That's good to hear.
What about you?
Well, I said I enjoyed it. That's a bit.
Well, I mean,
Didn't know if you wanted to extrapolate on
a little bit more. You know, yeah,
no. I was gonna say, just yeah. Like I was saying, I enjoyed it. I was going to get into the synopsis, but then I remembered I didn't have that part. But the synopsis is pretty. It's actually a pretty straightforward movie. It's essentially a movie about a rising late night host star, played by David Dastmalchian. In, I believe the year was 1976. I can't remember if it was 1976.
Yeah,
And he's slowly been rising since the early 70s to essentially kind of become number 2 behind Johnny Carson. and he's had his ups and downs. He had a wife who passed away from cancer. All this being shown on television, which probably would have happened at that time. I kind of think I'm trying to decide if I think we're less private now than we were back then. But she was also like a model, and so she probably was. So they were public enough that they probably would have done that.
Yeah,
that's not a part of the synopsis, but it's Halloween night, and for their Halloween special, this late night show, Late Night with Owls, decides to do a horror themed episode with a medium, a skeptic, and as we learn, a possessed child, with her caretaker being the author of a book named Lily, and spooky shenanigans run afoul, I should say.
Is Lily the name of the kid that she was?
Lily's the name of the book and the kid.
Okay. Oh, I thought it was. I thought the book
is called
A Conversation
with the Devil, but like it's got like a subtext of like Lily's on like the cover of it.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
And then
June, I think, is the name of the.
Yeah, it's like June. It's like a hyphenated name. June, not June Rose. Is it like June Rose Mitchell or something like that?
Something like that. I can't remember. I remember the first names. I don't remember the last part. But yeah, that's the. I mean, that's the synopsis of the story without giving the ending of it away. And what a trippy movie! Like your analogy of a rubber band is 100% correct. The entire movie, the first half. I shouldn't say the first half of it. The first third of it is very like. You almost kind of like, is this supposed to be? Where's the horror element? Because it doesn't really give you the tension that a horror movie tries to present. It more like just decides it wants to play it out really straight, and then suddenly like then it wants to start giving you the tension. But once it starts to give you that tension, you get that rubber band. Like you're like, oh, they're about to. No, I guess they're not about to. But no. We're going. And then like you're like, okay, you're toying with me a little too much. But one thing I will say, and like usually with these notes, with my notes, I tend to like stop and go a lot in a movie. This one I ended up just watching all the way through, and then it's like, okay, I guess I'll make my notes off of that. But I don't know. You guys watched it streamed, right?
Yeah.
Were there a bunch of those like beginning like splash screens?
Oh my god, dude! I thought it was a joke. I was like, "There's no way this many production companies had anything to do with this film."
It was a lot. Yeah.
I was like, "This is a video game? What is happening with all these?"
It was like a straight like 9 minutes.
It was so long. I was like, "What is this part?"
You donate more than $5 for the production.
We're going to like we could have as Panharmonicon Studios given them $10,
and it would have been like
put our logo on
Panharmonicon Studios. Like, jeez, I was like, okay, you guys need to end it, and then it goes into that like kind of just like exposition, and I was kind of like, I don't know if I really dig this part. Like, I understand that you wanted to just give the backstory leading into like that night, but it was like, okay, I felt like you could have done that in a myriad of different ways. That wasn't just here's a bunch of like
straight like info dump
scenes,
kind of.
And it was just an info dump. It was just a dude just telling you everything. That was like. And it basically set itself up so that you knew what the ending was going to be like because of how much he ended up telling you. And you're like, okay.
So I had like a few questions that I wanted to make sure to ask you guys. And of course, I know we haven't explicitly said this yet, but very much spoiler alerts, as in with all the movies that we do. And I know we tend to jump around, so please bear with us. Because I was very interested in like how you guys saw things. Because another thing that we've been talking about in some of the horror movies that we've discussed is piecing together the mysteries through all of the like subtext, all of the imagery that they use. Like, where is this story going based off of how the director is framing everything with the actors, with the shot, and all that stuff. And so I was curious with you guys, at what point did you realize how, like, I guess ultimately the role that Jack played in the situation with his wife?
Oh, like in like her getting cancer and all that jazz. I honestly really didn't pick up on that much at all.
Okay.
Because I guess in the quest of wanting 10 to 15 more minutes of the movie, like I would have loved more info about like I mean, it's the cult in the woods. You know, like
The Grove.
Yeah, the Grove. It's,
Yes.
Is that the name of like the real life thing? Okay, yeah. Because like the owls.
That's a real life thing.
Oh, all that was real.
Yeah.
Well,
Not like
this
not like
episode right
the
here. I don't-
true like not like the true occultishness of it. Like, all right, we don't know if they're occult or not.
Allegedly.
But
Allegedly.
I like to, so yeah, okay, so audience, if you haven't seen this movie, I would implore you to actually just watch it and then listen to us. But if you have seen it and you had the same kind of questions, essentially a big chunk of the plot hinges on the Grove itself. The Grove is this like meeting spot out in the middle of like the California redwoods. It is known as a spot where there have been a lot of there have been presidents, there have been high profile celebrities, there have been, I don't know if there have been actual like outside other type of governmental people like kings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like in America, there have been a lot of high profile people, all male, who go there. And I think of it more as just being just an old boys club. But some people think it might be an occult group. Some people think it might be the Illuminati. The whole part, the late night with owls, the owl is a symbol that they have there. And in fact, there's like a big owl statue. And people think that they might do ritualistic suicides there, but
Court
they
of Owls.
also just do like they will like dress up in cloaks and like masks and stuff and just be out in the woods. But there also are times where they're just like in suits and stuff and like in the hall, like the hall rooms, like lounging and chilling and smoking cigars and talking. You're not allowed in there unless you are a member, but there have been pictures that have been sent. Alex Jones himself somehow like got himself into there and then got like thrown out. I mean, like he actually like walked, like climbed and got him like adventured his way into the place and was taking pictures and stuff. Wow. And so the incident that they associated him with the Grove was when I recognized that there was a potential of him like selling his soul to the devil. I didn't think about his wife until about the time that Lily got introduced, that I realized that he might have actually been, because they obviously say it in like that just dialogue bomb that we get where he says that like never having smoked, she got lung cancer.
Exactly. Yep.
Which is odd because I mean, if it's the devil, why? You could have just made it something that you. It's like you want it to be known.
Something that would have tracked more.
Yeah, like,
people wouldn't have had suspicion about.
Like carcinoma. So like, oh, she's a model. She's probably out in the sun a lot.
You could have made it instant. You could have made it like she was crossing the street and got hit by a truck or something like.
But yeah, so I didn't. So when it came all the way back to the end part, I was like, well, of course, like that's like that. But like, I realized around that little time, I was like, oh, so they are going with the concept that he like sold his soul to the devil. But to me, if you sold yourself to the devil and you still can't beat Johnny Carson, what did you even sell your soul to the devil for?
Right.
Who did Johnny Carson sell his soul to then?
Ooh.
That would have been something. If they'd have said that.
Next other devil. One rung above.
Yeah.
If that would have came out and it was like he's sitting there with all those like crazy flashbacks and then Johnny's like, sorry, kiddo, beat you to it. And there was like another
that would be cool.
Well,
then it's
they
just
mentioned
JoJo's
that,
Bizarre Adventure.
Like, so what was the name? Because they said that like
Abraxas.
the name is Abraxas. So like that name, I guess, is like the core, or what is the word? I was gonna say epidemiology. I don't think that's the word, but basically the with
epitome?
that word, is it the epitome? You said?
Yeah, the epitome.
What
the
is it?
Epicenter.
I feel like it's an E word. It's something that like it's basically the origin of that word, because abracadabra I think was mentioned in the movie, where Abraxas I guess is like the foundation of like like that magic sort of term that people use. Abracadabra. Now there's a rabbit I'm pulling out of my hat type shit. And so they said that was like a lesser devil. And so like with that in mind, if Abraxas was like a lesser devil, would Johnny Carson have just sold his soul directly to the
Satan.
devil?
Yeah, maybe.
Like
Lucifer.
And sorry, that's not to say that Johnny Carson, like in real life, I'm saying like in the context
Allegedly,
of the story,
yeah.
you know, he's always trying to beat Johnny Carson. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if we answered your question, but I think it really wasn't. I guess I never really caught that it was like, oh, without lung care, like without smoking, she got lung cancer. I was like, I mean, they got asbestos, like it's bad, like I'm sure, yeah, why not?
I mean, back then you probably could have.
Yeah.
It was just one of those things where during that part, that exposition, I just couldn't help but ask myself, okay, why did you point that out specifically? There had to be a reason why you wanted the audience to know that. But then to go further, the first medium that they work with, the guy who was kind of put out there to be, I guess, who Carr would have been skeptical about, and probably rightfully so, because the first guy he's talking to, you can tell he's kind of like bullshitting. But then he goes to the mother and the daughter and is like, oh, you lost your son due to like suicide and whatnot. And I think it's later on in the movie that Carr had surfaced that there were those questionnaires, those forms. So I think that part is super interesting because the medium would have gone to like trying to showcase this theatrical ability to talk to spirits beyond our realm. And then he gets with this dude who had to have been one of the most quick-witted audience members I think I've ever seen. But I think there was another comment later on that may have suggested that he was actually planted there.
He was definitely planted.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like our buddy, I forget the guy's name, like our buddy in the audience or something like that. But then he pivots to the mother and daughter, which seems to give his abilities some sense of legitimacy until we find out how. But then once he's truly sort of possessed, and he's asking, there's a person here with a wedding ring on their finger and they're not married, and they were talking about the nickname Minnie. And in my mind, I'm like, Minnie, his wife's name starts with an M. Maybe it's a nickname. He's not saying, Jackson himself is not like opening up to this. And that's where I was like, okay, I think he had something to do, because there's a reason why. Eventually, he does let it know, the audience know. Like, yes, my wife's nickname was that. This is what I called her. But like, once I heard that detail, I was like, he has something to do with it. He totally has something to do with it.
Which is kind of weird because he really, like, I feel like maybe he didn't think he had something to do with it. It's not until you see like the ending that he kind of like maybe realizes that all of this is truly connected, because he still did have his wedding ring on his finger.
Yeah.
And like he did seem to like actually love her and didn't want those things to happen. It just happened and he couldn't deal with it. But I mean, also I'm pretty sure like Abraxas didn't say like, well, no, I gotta take your wife. So he probably did realize at some point that maybe that was one of the things he had to pay for. And maybe he was still waiting to see if he had to pay for something. But I also thought about that medium and Chris Du, and how I thought like maybe he was a true medium until like Carr kind of figured out the part with the questionnaires and stuff. And then I was like, oh, so actually he probably was just outright possessed, and like it wasn't so much that he like contacted, because I don't even think he was really trying. Like he was trying, but like it's hard to tell if he knew what the heck was going on. And then when he finally like started the throwing up venom, I was like, oh, okay. He's possessed.
So with the forms, like I guess I didn't really fully understand that that's like, oh, that's how he got his information.
Because I think that's like a real life thing that people have done. That
like
mediums have tricked people into believing that they're actual mediums. Is that like before they would do a show, these people would fill out these like questionnaires, and without knowing those people basically filling out the questionnaires would not know that information is then passed along to someone in the audience,
which is crazy.
Like, what do you think they did with it? Why do you think they asked you in the first place?
Like, you didn't think to yourself, like, I did talk to somebody earlier about my dead son. And he's suddenly talking about my dead son. This is crazy.
There was a story I read, because I think it's multiple people have done this so far. I forget their names, but there is one story that I remember hearing about where it was this couple, this married couple, where the wife would then take those questionnaires, and the husband would be the one performing out in the audience, sort of pretending to be the medium.
She would feed him info?
Yeah, exactly, with the earpiece in his ear, and then she would continue to be like, oh, the name's Peter, okay, and then their husband passed away. And then people would be like, "Whoa, how did he know all this stuff?" It's like, well, dude,
You told
filled
them.
out an application. Like,
Gotcha. Because that's something I clocked that moment, but I was like, I didn't know that it was specifically related to like Christu. Because it seemed like a genuine thing. So I was like, oh, okay.
like a genuine thing that Christu actually
Like
did
it,
the meeting.
right? Like
Okay.
like I, as an audience member, like of the movie, I was like, oh, maybe he does, like have the powers. But then, hey, I guess I'm just an easy mark. So now I know don't
Yeah.
fill out applications before a show.
But it's very, it makes sense as to how that could be so misleading because there were literally 3 sort of marks in which your perspective could change as to whether or not he was or wasn't, right?
Yeah.
Like the first time with the first person in the audience, you're like, okay, this guy's bullshitting. And then he moves to the next group and then it's like, okay, maybe he's legit. And then the third time it's like, oh shit, something is really wrong here.
But then, so I guess the source of that was actually Lily. Then is that kind of the
That's what I think. I think that somehow like Abraxas had, because they would have been there on stage, right? Already in the
or
back.
at least backstage?
Yeah.
They were in the building for sure.
Yeah. So I'm assuming that Abraxas just, which is weird because you would think that would mean Abraxas that Lily would have had like an episode or something backstage, but maybe that could be because June does say that she doesn't think that Lily is ready, but she never goes into detail.
Yeah.
And it could be that something happened backstage and we just didn't know it during that period of time. But speaking of Lily, so Lily is played by Ingrid Torelli, and Lily does Ingrid does an amazing job as Lily. She's unsettling throughout her entire time there, like right off the rip.
Yeah.
And one of the things that really got me was her tracking cameras.
Just staring down the barrel.
Always be staring down the barrel.
Yeah.
And then like there's a period where they go to do a camera switch and she's already staring at the camera that they're about to do the switch to. So the incident does the switch, she's already staring. And because she's staring at the camera, that means she's staring at you. So it's like it just felt like she was just constantly looking at you, like no matter where the events of the movie were taking place. And it wasn't like it was just a stare. It was just a blank, like sometimes she would be smiling, sometimes she wouldn't, but her eyes were just always just like locked in as if she was looking directly at you, the person watching this movie. And it was so unsettling. And then like her like kind of just soft but monotone like delivery up until like certain points where she like would become more energetic. It was just like she was a highlight for me.
Yes.
In that movie.
Even you just describing it is making my skin crawl because it was that unsettling. Even from the moment she walks out and they're like, "Here's Lily," and that dude, it was like the energy that she brought. It was so strange because it almost kind of makes me wonder if Lily, I guess to your point, was ever fully in control that night, or if it was always sort of like under the surface. It was like Abraxas pretending to be Lily, pretending to be okay, because she comes out and even before she even sits down. Like, I think it was Gus and a couple people were like, that was interesting. Just how she walked out and her presence and that energy was just, it was off. So there was something weird about it. It was almost like Abraxas was ready to put on this spectacle. Like this was part of his plan that he'd been brewing up for. Because did they ever say something, and maybe I'm just like implanting a memory in my own brain, but say something to the effect of like Abraxas being some kind of like devil or demon that is specific to like that medium or something like that, like their ability to, I don't know, communicate across. I could be just like making that up.
I don't think so because I don't know. I know that Abraxas was like who that cult worshipped, which is weird because that cult didn't seem to be attached to the Grove. In fact, I'm pretty sure that cult is. Well, I can't say that for sure because like. It placed it in the 70s, but it seemed like it was the cult that, what's his name, helmed in the 90s, that the standoff at Waco occurred. Because it seemed like they were doing that, like, almost, like, bit for bit, like, the whole, like...
Waco is exact,
like, police like, military standoff for, like, several days, and then, like, the house burning down, and... but then like a little Jim Jones was added because everybody inside had like killed themselves beforehand, and then like like Doomsday and Devil Cults were like the thing back in the 70s.
Yeah,
So it could
yeah.
have just been one of those as well. But it didn't seem like they were attached to the Grove until like his endpoint, where that like guy popped up in his like I don't know if I want to call those flashbacks, if they were just images being like put into his head, or if he
Right.
was experiencing them. I don't know what was happening, but like throughout that like little trippy period, that leader shows back up,
Mhm.
and it seems to be that they were tying the two groups together, and that he must have been around when Jack was at the Grove, or maybe Jack went to him to get like in touch with Abraxas. So it's a little hard to
think-
tell.
Of course, it's an AR review, so grain of salt. But the quick thing, it was good and evil does not exist. It's only what you desire. So maybe it was, he wanted the number one spot, so that's what he sold his soul for. And apparently it was the Grove was also worshipping Abraxas, maybe not by name, but that was like maybe who they were worshipping.
I guess that would explain why Jack didn't seem to know who Abraxas was, but Abraxas said that
I met you in the
that
Grove.
met you with the Grove.
Yeah.
So maybe he was like one of those devils that go by like multiple names.
Oh, yeah.
And, like Jack knew it as a different name, but they just never say in the movie what the name is.
Right.
On the note of also, sorry, did you have anything else that you wanted to talk about with Lily? Because I mean, yeah, Lily she did a fantastic job. Mm-hmm. But also on the note of like, I think the skepticism piece, Carr, and everything that he was, because he was definitely an asshole.
Yeah,
that
he was a little
entire
over the
time.
top. Yeah.
That entire time. So like Carr in the story is, I think he's like
An ex-magician.
like an ex-magician, but like a man of science, it seemed. Like,
Yeah, he started, there was like an abbreviation and
Ipsos? Was that the...
Yeah.
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 So he has this foundation, and he's essentially he's there to be the skeptic, right? To debunk everything that's kind of happening with the mediums. So he has a field day with Christou, and there's obviously a lot of tension because of this between him and June and Lily, and trying to explain away certain things, even when there were things that just weren't. You just couldn't explain away. Mm-hmm. Like, when June tries to entice Abraxas to come out, and his standing there is like, dude, how are you explaining away the levitation of her sitting in a chair?
Yeah.
The
The thing is, he was constantly explaining. Like he had answers, which was kind of crazy. Like, and then when he gets to that point where he does like the mass hallucination,
that part was pretty wild. Actually,
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
I will say that got me.
you kind of like, oh, I guess he would be a person who thought like, oh, well, I can do this trick. Anybody could probably pull this off.
And that scene was so interesting to me because there was that point where he tries to stop it. So the scene we're talking about, there was a scene. Gus is like, what is the best way to describe a Gus? I don't know what they call these people in late night television shows, but like
Like the sidekick.
Yeah, almost
kind
like
of like how
psychic
Conan O'Brien has like an
announcer.
Andy Richter, I think his name is. But Jack has Gus. And so Gus this entire time, I will admit, he seemed like such a pure-hearted person that I thought that he himself was supposed to be sort of like a metaphor for like an angel or something more that was just like a bright, pure-souled person. Because he was the person who was like telling Jack, hey, you gotta shut this down, you gotta stop this, I found out about Christou, because Christou dies in transport to the hospital after he throws up venom, which literally that's what it looks like. But Carr uses Gus as basically to reinforce just how you could trick an audience into believing something was going to happen. And then there is this moment where he hypnotizes not only Gus, but essentially anybody looking at the monitors that was looking at the whole like hypnotic swirl that he pulled with his pocket watch. And there's a point where he seems like he tries to snap Gus out of it, but that it doesn't work, and he himself is like shocked that it doesn't work. So I was like, oh, this is real. This is like Abraxas taking over and causing this. But the entire time, Lily is just laughing, like, oh, why is Gus doing this? He's acting so funny. So I wonder if, like, despite looking at it, Abraxas wasn't hypnotized.
Yeah.
So he saw it for what it was of like Gus just pretending to pull stuff out, even though nothing was coming out.
That's a good point. Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, the instant, like, it was one of those moments where the rubber band was being stretched and then like snapped back.
Yep.
Because I too thought that like, because the way he played it made it seem like he suddenly didn't have control anymore.
Exactly.
And I was like, oh, did he think he had control? And like he thought like, because for the longest I was like, we're under his, like everybody's supposed to be up underneath his genjutsu, and then like he's like then Gus starts like ripping at his stomach and worms and the worms. I was like, oh, okay, this must be some like Abraxas doing, because there ain't no way this dude is like a 20th level like wizard. He don't got this ability, right? And then he starts getting a little like whoa, but then he like switches and he's like, none of that was happening.
Yeah.
But that entire time, Lily was the only one sitting there laughing, and everybody else was horrified. And I was like, oh, Abraxas can see through this. And then when they showed it on TV, I thought for sure Lily was going to say something to the fact that would solidify that we knew that Abraxas didn't.
Yeah.
But then like she was like, well, just show what happened between us. And I was like, oh, okay.
How did that make you feel when that happened? Because I was sitting there watching it, and when they showed the video, the actual real interaction between Gus and Carr, I was like, oh God, that's... And then when they suggested, like, yeah, just show the one between Lily and June, I was like, oh... Something, like, started to get very unsettled inside of my soul.
Yep.
How did you guys feel at that moment?
Very similar. I'm just like, oh, you're going to re-trigger something, and then the whole
At that point,
explodes.
I was like, okay, the rubber band's finally about to snap.
Yeah.
Like, this is the period. And sure enough, it did eventually become like the period. Mm-hmm. I have to admit that I think because it became so trippy at that point, that it stopped being horror for me, even though like horrible things were happening. And it just became what the fuck is going on right now? Mm-hmm. Because like she starts pulling a poltergeist and like all the like
electricity
the
stuff.
Television particles are coming like into it at her, and then she snaps Gus's neck. I'm like, oh, that sucks. That isn't cool at all. Why Gus? Mm-hmm. Gus has like been a normal person this entire time. And then she starts just fucking June's neck up. And then, Carr. I think Carr got off. For having been essentially like the antagonist of this movie, because he's been riling her up and other people up so much.
Yeah.
To essentially just kind of get like...
I mean, he got burned alive, I guess, but it wasn't like super sustained, so I can kind of see where you're coming from.
It was like, one got their neck, like, just... their head was completely turned.
Yeah.
The other person was hung up by a necklace and then proceeded to get beheaded by the necklace. Yeah. And then he just got like, it didn't even, like, it would have been one thing if it was like a full like engulf in flames, like he turned into Johnny Storm. Yeah. But like
a full immolation, I guess. Yeah.
It was just like he just kind of turned orange.
Yeah, he just got air fried a little bit. Yeah.
It was almost like a nuke went off, like a tiny nuke went off inside of his body. Because it almost like there was like this glowing that happened internally, and then he just like melted and then fell over. Yeah. That part right there, I think that when that rubber band broke, when the rubber band finally snapped, that freaked me out, dude. And her head split in half. Yeah. Like, I don't know what was scarier, is like where my imagination was going, because I was thinking that Abraxas was literally about to rip her in half and step out of her. Yeah. Like, I don't know if that was scarier or the fact that like her head splits in half and then that's where it stops. Right. While her arms are seemingly being pulled in like two different directions from the monitors. That whole thing, dude, I think that was so well executed. I will say though, my gripe with it, like, I agree with you on Carr, and this is going to sound morbid. I promise you I'm not a creep. I was kind of expecting almost everybody in that audience to die. Yeah. That is where I saw it going. Fair. And that's kind of, not that I wanted that, but I think that would have been...
Would have fit.
Like, yeah, I think it would have fit a little bit better of just like literally everybody in that audience having been murdered.
I also think it would have made more sense. Yeah. Because seemingly this makes it feel like this was like a found, or like something that couldn't be shown or ever seen again. Yes. But if almost everybody else got away, you would think that people would have stories about it.
Exactly. And so what I in my mind, I was thinking, okay, everyone in the audience should not have been able to get away. Like, I can totally understand her putting her focus on Carr, June, Gus and Jack at first, but then everything else happening around them dying. And then that the only reason why we would have, I guess in that context of the story, been able to circle back is because they literally had already pointed out that a few people on set before that happened had already left.
Yeah.
So I was thinking that, okay, they're going to be the ones who will kind of like, they weren't there. They were there for part of it, but at least they would have enough context of what was happening that night to be the ones to sort of point any documentary filmmakers and say, hey, something really weird happened that night. I wasn't there to see everything, but like there being no survivors to,
it definitely should have been like a Carrie type situation.
Yeah.
I do think though that the specialness of the film is like the cutaways is like kind of, I think, supposed to be the found footage of it all, where like everything that was on air was actually aired. So like even like the ending where Jack's just standing there by himself, I think that's also supposed to have been aired. So it's all the like behind the scenes, like with the producer and like, Gus being like, this is bad. Like, I think that was supposed to be like the found footage of it all. The found footage
piece of it.
So I think this might have been a bit more of a public thing. I do agree. I feel like a lot more people should have bit the bullet. But I think that's like just maybe not the premise, but the...
Maybe exposition man could have said that during that 10 minutes of exposition he was given, because that makes more sense to say that like it is known. We just didn't know about the other parts of it.
Yeah, like the drives and we gotta get ratings and all that jazz.
Like, this just made it feel like it was like a documentary about something that nobody knew.
Yes, yeah, for sure.
Which is like, I mean, a lot of people saw this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whole studio audience.
A lot of people saw her become TV head and like just start effing shit up until she got stabbed.
Yeah. But I do think that I after I watched the movie and I tried to like compile my final thoughts, I couldn't tell, like trying to put into words exactly why I felt this way, but it felt like after that moment had happened, after Gus, June, Carr are dead, and then you start to go into this sort of like surreal, almost like dreamlike, sort of wrapping up summarization of what Jack had done and the context of his relationship to the Grove, to the cult, and all this stuff. It started to taper down for me. Is like that was such a huge moment that explanation didn't fully do it for me. Because there were some things that had been said that they had not explained, and that's why I say I could have used like another 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Because there was a comment that was made that was never fully fleshed out amongst the tall trees. There were several times that Lily had mentioned something about, oh, I met you amongst the tall trees. I met you amongst the tall trees. But then there wasn't like a scene fully. I would have liked a scene to where you see Jack go into like a woods or something like that, and he sort of is giving his soul away or something like that to explain that away.
Like see the ritual.
Actually see the ritual itself. Because I was going to say the amongst the tall trees is just the Grove.
Right.
Oh.
Like it takes place like that's in the redwoods. So,
because I remember there was a quick image of like tall trees and then like what looked like a grill that was sort of just like positioned in the center of it, but it was so fast that I was like, I guess is that it? Oh, that would
like that's why there was like the big owl head person like kind of in that weird like when Mr. not Erykah Badu but the Mr. Stabby Man.
I'm sorry, what?
I had to pull up the last name again because that's the only thing.
Erykah Badu. What?
It's Debo, Sandor Debo. So Badu, word association. But yeah, in that weird like dream state, that's why there was like the owl and the forestry scene.
Oh
Jack,
man,
you better call Tyrone.
You better call him.
But yeah, I would have definitely liked a little bit more because I guess it was like the whole secrecy of it is just like, oh, this like weird stuff's happening in the woods. But I definitely would have liked to see that weird stuff.
Yeah.
Just for the point of the movie.
I would have 100% liked to see that as well.
So for that ending, do we think that was like his mind just kind of like blanking, or
I can't tell what it is.
Yeah.
Like, because the very fact that it ends with him having stabbed Lily seemingly means that Abraxas wasn't killing him.
Right.
So
because before that, it's like he's behind, like, because I think it's like the producer pulls him back, right, behind like this the slidey door, and then the slidey door closes, and then like all the scenes play.
Decides to like open it back up, walk out, and like
Right.
stab her. It's really weird that she's sitting here doing all this like killing stuff, but just lets him walk up and go.
Right. Because I thought, because it was like, oh, because like the only way I was able to like piece it together is because when it's the scene with his wife, like he approaches that way. So I'm like, oh, maybe now we're seeing it from behind, and then like that opening like was back onto the stage. But then like trying to do like the space work, geometry is not my best subject, so I was like, I don't know how he would then be, up on Lily with the knife. So I just wanted your guys' thoughts, because that part definitely confused me.
It seemed like he was like, I had took it as like Abraxas sort of infecting his mind.
Okay.
And making him see, kind of almost just sort of taking him through, I don't know, some sort of like psychological like acid trip through the reasoning of why he's about to be damned.
Gotcha.
And especially because as we were talking about it more, it kind of just clicked for me that like he wanted to be number one so bad, and it's almost like he did get his wish, because I'm pretty sure an episode like that probably would have made him number one, if not even just for like a brief moment.
Yeah.
But at what cost?
I mean, it's also a question of how long it could have actually been aired. Like at some point,
Oh yeah, they would have cut the feed.
BBC would have probably just cut that off.
Yeah.
I'm also thinking it's highly possible he never actually left the stage.
Oh yeah,
And just imagine that piece of going behind the door with the producer. Yeah.
that's very true.
Like during that part, they don't really give you like what's reality and what's like happening until like the very end of it, and even still, we don't know.
Yeah, Dreamer Here Awake.
So it's such a like a weird like that part to me was just so like trippy. It's the only thing I can name it because it was so like what is happening, because like I got immediately that when it opened back up and he walked out and then Gus is there and everyone's like, but he's like tripping on it. I'm like, okay, you did just show us like a hallucination like thing. Is this that again? And all of that had just happened hadn't actually happened. And I was about to get really pissed because I was like, if you just did all this and that was like a nightmare or something like that,
he just wakes up and
done with you.
Yeah.
But then like he went back again and it showed the caveman scene that it was talked about like during the exposition part, and I was like, okay, so he's like going through things, but like, why are you showing me these things in particular? And then the weird part with the cult happens, and then that skeleton dude shows back up, and I'm like, was that skeleton dude like in the audience, like to watch him or something like that? And then they showed like, I mean, they were talking about like the Abraxas part, and then all of a sudden he's like with his wife, and it's like, okay, we're all back to Madeline again, and what does that entail? And then that's when you start to get that idea that he
did this to her. Yeah.
And he realizes he did it to her. And you're like, okay, so we're in his mind, and this is his like guilt coming out. But why is his guilt coming out? And then maybe to some degree it was Lily reaching out to him to say like, you know what you have to do to end all this. Like, just kill me.
Right.
And so he does it. And then we get that ending. We just get him like standing there with the dead Lily and a whole bunch of dead people around him. I'm like, oh, this is.
You know, I was curious. Like, ultimately, him killing Lily. Do you think that was part of the plan with Abraxas? Like, was like killing Lily for him some sort of way to like breach that mortal shell and then go out into the ether? Because at one point, when they look at the TV screen, wasn't there like static, and then within the static you see a face?
You do see a face, but I also think that he needed Lily because that was what the whole cult was about. Was trying to bring Abraxas like into the
that's
the realm,
that's
and they needed a host, and Lily ended up being the host. And I've never said Lily so many times ever in my life. It's starting to not feel like a real word. But yeah, like, so he needed her to like come in. Maybe he did. I mean, I don't know. He split her face open, so I kind of feel like he didn't need her to die in order to get help. Like you, I thought he was about to like start climbing out.
Yeah.
And be like
For sure.
Proto electronic man. I was like, oh, okay.
This is wild. This is kind of random, not really on topic with the movie, but I find it so fascinating that David Dastmalchian? Dastmalchian. The first time I ever saw him, he was a random henchman in The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
And so it is just so crazy to think that like the trajectory of his career, because he's I think this is like the first movie where I've seen him where he is the protagonist, like he is the main character. He's a title character, right?
Yeah.
Like you think about Suicide Squad. Like I think I loved him in Suicide Squad, but he wasn't the focus. He was also in Ant-Man. He was part of the trio along with T.I. and Paul, like I would say Paul Rudd, Scott Lang's group. Mm-hmm. And again, in The Dark Knight, he was just, I think, the henchman that gets interrogated by Harvey Dent before he becomes Two-Face in the back of the ambulance. And so, there's also another movie that he was in, which is, I think, a really other fantastic horror movie that also has, Sophie Turner in it, who I know is very much up and coming. She was in Companion.
She's Phoenix. Or Jean Grey, I should say.
Oh, no, it's not Sophie Turner. It's Sophie Thatcher. Sorry.
Sophie Thatcher. Isn't Sophie Turner?
I was like, Sophie Turner was
Yeah,
definitely
Sophie Turner was from like Game of Thrones. Yeah,
Yeah,
Sophie
it's
Thatcher is, I think...
The Jonas Brothers' wife for a bit. Or
what was that show called?
Yeah, I think they broke up now.
Yeah.
Yellow Jackets. She's in the show Yellow Jackets. She's Companion, Heretic. But another movie that came out a couple years ago. We actually watched this movie, dude. Boogeyman. It was on Hulu. Yeah, he was in that movie. He was the first dude who was who came in to, not interviewed, but to be seen by her father.
Yeah.
Because he was having issues, and then I think he ended up committing suicide. Thought that he committed suicide. He hung himself in their house. Mm-hmm. That was David Dastmalchian. So
that's a movie that flopped.
What?
When I was trying to find information on like this movie's budget, it was said that this movie was like a revenge for David Dastmalchian because he was in a horror movie like the year before that was like a $430 million budget or something like that, and it like did horrible.
What?
Yeah.
That can't be Boogeyman.
Boogeyman, at least quick facts from Google, is saying a budget of $35 million.
There's something I need to look this up again.
But I just always, that maybe it could just be his Google picture, but I just always picture this man as being like slightly wet. Like anytime I just see him in a movie, like
What?
he's just like either sweaty or just like just somehow
His skin's
just
a little too
Like,
moist.
his
Yeah.
hair is just always like kind of down and just like stuck to his forehead. But that
Like
could
a
just
well-oiled
be,
pizza crust,
yeah, that could be it.
which is
But he's 50 years old.
probably
Wow.
not.
just always moist.
He's 50 years old?
Yeah.
What? Dude, it's amazing, like, this day and age.
Yeah.
A 50-year-old person looks like they're in their mid-30s
Yeah.
nowadays, man. Because I would have never looked at David and been like, oh, yeah, you're definitely 50.
I wouldn't have, but I guess it makes sense.
Yeah,
I think it's also that he's just always looked the same.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing.
But that's even
Because
in that,
The
that's
Dark Knight
amazing,
was
though.
like what
17 years
17
ago.
years ago.
Yeah.
He
Oh
looks
my
the same
Lord.
as in this movie that he did in that movie.
But you look at somebody who's like 50, like 1920,
Ancient.
it looks totally different.
Well, a lot more lead and cigarettes, probably.
Yeah, that's true.
Not good for your skin.
When they be showing those like 80s athletes and they be like, this young man's 18. I'm like, that dude is at least 35.
He's got a mortgage and 3 kids.
Yeah, dude. And it's so strange because it's like part of it is the way they would wear their facial hair.
Yeah, it was
Like somebody in the 70s with a mustache, like a 19-year-old in the 70s with a mustache, looked like you were a 40-year-old. You had like 8 children.
Yep.
But then like you look at it now, like I see somebody who maybe plays for Ohio State, if they have a mustache, I'm like, no, you're just a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And hair does have it because it's always that like square, like just standard hairstyle that somebody could be wearing if they're like 15, but also if they're like 55.
Yep.
And as a
Very
result, you're just
nondescript.
like, how old are you? But like, if you gave that dude, like if that 70s dude who looked like he was like 45, like a more modern, like young man's hairstyle, that would be, you'd be like, okay, he probably looks of that age.
Yeah.
But if you gave that to like a dude who's like 45 today, you'd be like, 45-year-old man, quit it. Go back to what you know.
Is that what you would say to a 45-year-old man on the street? Would
Quit.
you just go up to him, not even say anything else, but quit? Yeah.
Quit. Stop
Hey,
it.
stop that.
Get some help.
We know. We know.
Midlife crisis. Come on. Get your Corvette and get out of here, buddy. Well, final thoughts. Do we want to wrap it up?
There is that. There's always that question of how many Panharmonicons
Everybody's favorite segment.
does it get? How many Panharmonicons does it get? How many Panharmonicons does it get? How many Panharmonicons does it get? Andrew.
Spit.
Ooh.
I would say 4. This is a good 4 for me. I did like it. Apparently, there were some things that I missed, but I mean, I think it just kind of enriches the story a little bit, just to kind of see that they thought about some things. I guess the questions that we have about it, but yeah, I would say 4 out of 5.
Solid.
Damn.
Yeah. So it's crazy to say a very fun movie for a horror movie, but it was a very fun movie just because it was tense while somehow still being able to keep itself lighthearted enough that I could walk away from this movie at the end of the day and just continue doing whatever I was doing. Some horror movies are not like that, where you're just like, okay, I'm afraid of the dark for
Yes,
like
I'm leaving it. Get a nightlight.
Yeah.
Yep.
But so it was actually a very fun movie. I think David Dastmalchian did an amazing job as Jack. He did a really good job of making you feel like he didn't know what was going on, even though he knew what was going on.
Yeah.
Again, Ingrid Torelli, amazing job as Lily. The whole crew, even the dude who kind of looked like a Hyde from that 70s show.
Truly, yeah. Just wow, spot on.
Everybody did a really good job, and they made it feel like it was this like 70s product until it didn't anymore.
Even like the 4:3 aspect ratio that you use for the
It could have did it with a few less splash screens at the beginning and a little bit less of the exposition, but I give this 4 Panharmonicons out of 5.
Nice.
4 Pan. It's funny because I even wrote in my final thoughts, I was like, I'm oscillating between a 3.5 and a 4. But this is like one of those moments where, like, after sitting here and like discussing the movie with you guys and then finding some of the things that I may have not thought about in the correct sense or didn't think about at all or didn't catch, and this is a 4.
Nice.
You know, and so it helped to show. I was like, I know just like a little bit about what might sort of bridge the gap in my understanding of certain things. So yeah, definitely glad I got a chance to sit here and talk with you guys, and yeah, settling on a 4 Panharmonicons.
Hey, I can't remember what number this is, but all united.
All
Same
united,
number.
yeah.
Hopefully, eventually, someone will start keeping tally. That isn't us. And if you guys saw this movie, we'd like to know how many Panharmonicons out of 5 that you would give Late Night with the Devil. Thank you for listening. If you can for us, Spotify guys, drop a rating. Drop a comment letting us know what you thought. Maybe use the rating as your Panharmonicons out of 5.
Whoa. He's thinking.
And as always, YouTube. My peeps on the YouTube side. Like this. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Give it a thumbs down if you did not. Hit that notification bell if you are subscribed to us. And if you are not subscribed to us, subscribe. Hit that button. It'll go from whatever color it's set to on your screen to a different color. But that'll let you know that you're subscribed. It also says subscribed at the end. And give us a comment letting us know what you thought about not only David Dastmalchian's Late Night with the Devil, but also what you thought about this episode. And if you have any movies that you think we would enjoy or not enjoy, because, you know, it wouldn't be bad to go upon some movies that you're like, this movie sucked.
Yeah.
But thank you all for listening to another episode of Panharmonicon Studios presents
A podcast.
Oh.
This has been Damon.
This is Andrew.
And this is Farron.
Signing off. Thank you guys for listening.
Hope to catch you on the next one.
My purpose. He's here, isn't he? Good to see you again, Jack.
Sorry, I don't believe we've been acquainted.
Don't be a fool. We go way back.